For saying no to a family vacation with my dad's family. Growing up with divorced parents is never easy, but for me, it felt like a game I could never win. When my dad was single, we had a bond that was ours and ours alone. We'd do things together, father and child, just us. But that all changed when he met Kirsten. Suddenly, he wasn't just my dad anymore. He was a partner to Kirsten and a father figure to her 3 kids. And with each step forward in their relationship, I felt him slipping further and further away. The man who once made me feel important started treating my need for one-on-one time as something to be shared, diluted, or even ignored. I was 9 years old, aching for his attention, but every time I asked for time alone with him, I got a compromise instead. Suddenly, everything had to include Kirsten and her kids or the whole household. I watched him carve out special moments for each of them. Car rides, games, bonding time. But for me, there was always an excuse. Always someone else's needs coming first. I tried to swallow the bitterness, thinking maybe things would change. They didn't. It wasn't just neglect I felt, it was being replaced. Kirsten and her kids became his focus. Then came the kids he had with her, and with that, another layer of distance built between us. Observing my dad give attention so freely to the others while finding ways to avoid giving it to me turned into a wound I carried everywhere. Resentment settled into my chest, sharp and heavy. Sometimes Kirsten would try to step in, urging me to enjoy my family. But how could I, when being part of that family seemed to come with the price of losing my dad? I lashed out, once telling her I didn't want her and her kids to be my family at all if that meant I was invisible to the one person I needed most. I even told her she should have picked a better partner, one who didn't shortchange his own child. That was the storm that truly severed whatever thin thread we had. My dad backed her up, enforcing respect for her and her role. All the while I wondered, why didn't he ever stand up for me the way he seemed to stand up for them? The breaking point came when I won 2 laser tag tickets and invited my dad to join me for anything that was just ours to share. As always, it was met with conditions. He suggested buying extra tickets so the other kids could join. I couldn't contain my frustration anymore. I didn't want anyone else there. I wanted my dad. We fought, and I told him to forget it. I gave the second ticket to a friend, realizing maybe I should stop trying altogether. I stopped visiting his house as much after that. My mom even worked it out in court so that I didn't have to go. In the space that followed, I felt both relief and an ache. Relief because I didn't have to keep hoping for scraps of attention my heart couldn't survive without. An ache because deep down I still wanted that bond back. Fast forward to now. My dad and Kirsten are planning a family vacation, their first one ever. They've asked me to join them, not just once, but repeatedly. So many times I've lost count. Each time, my answer is no. Each time, they press harder. You should be with your family, they say. The kids are excited to see you. You're disappointing them. I hear their words, but they hit a wall I've built high out of self-preservation. How can I say yes when being around them feels like reopening every wound that being ignored has left behind? It's not that I want to crush the kids' excitement. It's that I'm still learning how to process what it means to feel like an outsider in my own family. Every no I say feels like a defense of my own heart, even if it's at the risk of theirs. As I say no, over and over, I wonder if they truly understand why I can't say yes. For years, I chased my dad's love and attention only to walk away empty-handed every time. Walking into that family vacation wouldn't just be showing up to a beach or an amusement park. It would be walking into the same hurts I've tried so hard to distance myself from. Maybe one day I'll find a way to untangle this mess. Maybe one day I'll heal enough to build bridges where I've burned them. But for now, I'm choosing me. Not out of spite, but because learning to protect myself is the only way I know to move forward.